walk us through what you believe you need to win this war. Where is it coming from, and are you getting enough support? I'm talking about from the United States, from Europe, in terms of weapons and money.
When you're at war, you literally need everything. Everything. And of course, the key issues now, the situation in terms of supplies, weapon supplies, is much better compared to where we were even a month ago. And it's worth commending the United States for taking the lead on mobilizing international support and helping us with the supply of artillery, for example, and other weapons. And this Ramstein format set up by Secretary of Defense, it's working. So big thanks to the Biden administration, to Secretary Austin, Secretary Blinken for making it all happen. But there is never a moment in the war when you can say, okay, we did our best, this is it. As long as the war continues, it means that more needs to be done. So now we are facing a big issue with with the critical lack of multiple launch rocket systems. Russia has plenty of them, and they cover squares of our territory with fire, killing and destroying everything. So we need these weapons as soon as possible. We are desperately waiting for them to arrive. On the financial front, our economy is suffering more from the Russian destruction and Russian attacks than the Russian economy suffers from sanctions. Yeah. I'm not trying to say that sanctions are useless, but as long as Russia makes money on selling oil and gas, their pockets are pretty full. So we also need macro-financial assistance to help the country running, to keep the country afloat. And the third element is actually, again, sanctions. As I mentioned, Russia feels pretty comfortable with current oil and gas prices. And we have to seriously reconsider the sanctions policy.
Do you believe you're making any progress on that in terms of your European counterparts? Hungary obviously being the major holdout when it comes to sanctioning Russian oil for now.
There are two ways to approach sanctions. The first one is to say, okay, we will focus on oil and seek ways how to stop the purchase of Russian oil. There is another way. You can do a more in-depth analysis and come to a conclusion, for example, that the vast majority of Russian oil sold to the global market is carried by maritime means, so by vessels. So if you sanctions, if you tell shipping industry that everyone carrying Russian oil anywhere in the world will face problems, that will mean a big issue for.
So you believe they should sanction the shipping industry?
My message now, I was very constructive and engaging, and always trying to understand concerns of partners when it came to sanctions. But now, after 3 months of fighting, my message is very simple: kill Russian exports. Accept some critical items that the West needs, but we need a broad strategy aimed not at blocking this or this, but the goal, the strategic purpose should be kill Russian exports. Stop buying from Russia, stop allowing them to make money, which they then invest in the war machine that destroys, kills, rapes, and tortures people in Ukraine.